Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. This is going to be a reading on Jack Smith and Judge Aileen Cannon. She might have finally goofed. My brother gave me a call today at 2 o'clock or so to say that Midas Touch had a video up, and Michael Popak was going on in that video that Judge Cannon screwed up on a written order, which is appealable. And I'll share, I took copious notes. I watched the video a couple of times, took copious notes, and I will now read those notes off to you so that we both understand what I'm reading on before I read on it. But first, just a quick little plug. Thank you for supporting my channel and my channels. I have two other ones. Tarot of the Seven Seas, which is my international tarot channel. Just like this, but international news, usually in the EU. Haven't been posting up as much on that channel just because there's a lot going on between this channel and my third channel that I do with my identical twin brother Gary, which is Twin Tarot with Gary and David. That one's a fun one. It's I meet up with my identical twin brother Gary. We throw spreads, and the two of us make fun of people. It's a lot of snark. It's 10 times more snark, or at least twice the snark as this channel. So if you're interested in any of those, go check them out. Links in the community page and in the descriptions on the video. Back to this reading. This goes back to Jack Smith filing a superseding indictment, and it was a speaking indictment. High-level speaking indictment is basically an indictment where lots of extra details are added. In this case, he chose to do a speaking indictment because they're talking about former President Trump and him having classified documents, and that these indictments were brought not just because he had classified documents, but what he was doing with them. It's important that he's not getting railroaded, that these are actual legit charges and not some witch hunt. So in this indictment, Donald Trump's team and Judge Cannon decided that they wanted to have a motion to strike paragraph 36. And she decided that she wants to strike this, but she's wrong on the rules for evidence, which is section 404B. Okay, here's the background. This is that audio recording we heard of Donald Trump talking with Susie Wild, who's like a director in a PAC of his. And he's like, you should take a look at this map, but don't get too close. It's classified. And it's like, here, there's an operation going on here, and it's not going really well. So what do we know? He has this classified map. He's not supposed to have it. Susie Wilds doesn't have a security clearance. She has no business seeing that map. And yet he's talking about that map, showing it to her, at the same time telling her not to look at it. So to Jack Smith, this goes to his intent as to why he kept at least some of these documents, was to basically show off to people. Look, I got this classified document. You can't look at it. Neener. It reminds me of, not quite, but Pirates of the Caribbean, where Jack Sparrow's running around saying, I got a job of dirt. Okay, so evidence code 404B says you can't use bad other conduct, I'm paraphrasing here, to prove the indicted conduct. So just because Donald Trump showed this woman this classified map doesn't prove the indicted conduct, which is he shouldn't have had the map in the first place. But what it does do, and I'll read this chart here. You can't use this is quoting Popak, and he's paraphrasing the section. Can't use bad other conduct to prove the indicted conduct unless you're trying to show motive or intent. So by him showing her this map, telling her it's classified and she shouldn't get too close, and then saying, this battle's not going well, it's showing motive and intent why he kept it. So he could impress people. So Judge Cannon chose to, she voted, she was basically said she was going to strike paragraph 36B, paragraph 36 from this indictment. She criticized the prosecution for using a speaking indictment. A speaking indictment basically highlights the facts presented to the grand jury so that the public has faith that the charges are legitimate because the indictments are public records and you can read them. The judge disagreed, said the speaking indictment was was not allowed by 404B. but she ignored the part where it says you can include it if there's intent. So she voted to strike paragraph 36B, paragraph 36. This is now an appealable offense. So Popak was hoping that Jack Smith would appeal this, because you combine this with her 2 previous missteps that got taken to the appeals court, and you might actually be able to finally get her off this case. We will see what Jack Smith does. But first, let's read on the energy of this 404B interpretation, her written ruling, and the fact that she got it wrong. Okay? Entertainment purposes only. Let's see what we got. Okay, foundation of the reading is the Hierophant. Big government organizations. So this could be, the White House, the executive branch, the court systems, all sorts of things like that. Pause for a quick drink. What are we crossing this with? The 2 of Cups. Agreements, contracts. So basically, when you're at a high level of the government, you're trusted with state secrets. But and the president has access to all of them. But it's understood that when you leave the office, those secrets, those documents, they belong to the public, or they belong to the people of the United States. They do not belong to Donald Trump, so you have to give them back. They're government documents, not Donald Trump's documents. And that's the whole crux of this case. Not only that, he's got these documents, and now he's sharing them with people that have no business seeing them, and that person can tell somebody else. So, it's not really secret anymore when you're sharing it with somebody who doesn't have a security clearance, because they could share it with their buddies. Underneath is the 5 of Wands, the Drunken Hillbilly Brawl card. This, not only does it cause chaos when the intelligence agencies no longer have control over their documents. There's a Get Smart reference for you folks. We have chaos and control. Not only does it cause chaos, but basically the documents are out of control. There's no more control over the information, and it can go anywhere, spread like wildfire, and can have all sorts of problems here. Also, what this is saying is that her ruling here opens up the door for an appeal. And this is going to cause a lot of turmoil for Trump, for right-wing media, for the Federalist Society, and everybody else involved in this case, not to mention Nada and De Oliveira. Oh, God. In the past, we got the 9 of Coins. I'm going to just assume that this Judge Aileen Cannon, because she's the most prominent woman in this case, and she's sitting here making all, she's stacking up these non-written orders, all these paperless decisions, and she was, basically piling up the wins against Jack Smith because there was nothing. She was delaying the case, and there was nothing he could appeal. That's the problem we were running into here. She's finally given him something he can appeal, and she's wrong. So his appeal will win. Will it be enough to remove her? I don't know, but it's appealable. Current situation is the devil. She messed up. She messed up big time. And, she doesn't have to stay on this case much longer. Whether she gets removed or she voluntarily removes herself. I also think that, 3's the charm here. But I think Jack Smith is going to be able to point out that her rulings are inconsistent with that of an unbiased judge. And this case, which should have been a slam dunk case, it should have been done easily, is taking forever. Now, we also don't know, we know that two legal assistants left. And we don't know the circumstances behind that. That could contribute into this as well. So it may not just be this paragraph 36 being struck. There could be other details that come up as well. The overarching energy is the Page of Pentacles. It generally speaking, this is a mistake. It's not a huge mistake on her part, but it's definitely a mistake. But it's another piece of evidence in a giant pile of evidence working against her. And it's almost like the straw that broke the camel's back. You add this coin to it, and then this coin wall just comes tumbling down. I've often, when I've thrown on Judge Cannon, on my own readings and with my brother, I keep getting like the Two of Wands card or the Nine of Wands. It's basically this. The vibe is that she's got like one more thing to do. I think it's the Nine of Wands. She's got one more thing to do. If she can just get this last thing done, she guarantees that this case will not be heard before the election or even this year. And then that gives Donald Trump the ability to potentially be elected the president, get sworn in, and then get this case quashed. Okay, so she was getting really close to that. Page of Pentacles, messaging about money, values. It's not a huge mistake, but it's a mistake, and it's the third mistake. It's like it in itself is not something that would necessarily cause them to remove her, but when you take all the mistakes in total, that's a problem. The lesson to be learned is the Empress. She has sat on this case. She's been a queen of delay on this case. She has made sure, the prosecution has to dot all their I's and cross all their T's, and then, we can't rush into. This woman's not rushing into anything. Nope, going to take our sweet time. Now, is that because of incompetence, or is that because she's been paid off? Who she got an agreement with? Maybe we'll find out. I'm not sure. The outcome is the Queen of Swords. I don't know if she can reverse this decision at this point. I think, though, that, this really is you made your choice. You made a decision here. This sword cuts both ways. So Jack Smith can act on it, likely will act on it. Not 100% guaranteed, but we will see, because that's going to be upcoming here, because I'm not going to leave it with just this. Oh, Hunter Biden, by the way. So I posted up on the community page. I got it wrong. I was hemming and hawing during that whole review. It's like, well, it could be not guilty. Well, it could be guilty. It could be a hung jury. I was all over the place with it. I did that reading last night, probably around 7 in the evening or so. The jury had already debated for a little bit and gone home. I found out on CNN today, some folks said, thank you, by the way, had posted up on the community page, that last night when the jury left, they took a hand vote. They were divided 6-6 on acquittal versus being found guilty. So I was beating myself up for getting the results wrong, but it's like, wow, 6-6, evenly split jury. And then you look how my reading went last night. It's like, I could be guilty, could be not guilty, could be a hung jury. Well, with a 6-6, yeah, all those things are possible. So that made me feel better. It made me feel not so bad. I think the one thing I probably should have, and I was thinking at the time I was doing the reading, every time that Page of Pentacles came up, there was that feeling of, this is kind of a minor thing and they need to take into account. I think I even said that there's like some sympathy for him. Like, he's already done the work. And one of the jurors went on CNN, and basically I think he was not the only one who felt that Hunter Biden shouldn't have to go to prison. They feel badly for Hunter Biden. They feel badly for the folks in his family, and that a few of them felt this crime should never have been brought up. That this is just a waste of public money and complete and utter overkill. for everything that's been going on. But I think that that page of coins, at the time I was reading it, not only was I getting that sympathy, but the vibe I was getting was the judge is going to take all this into account, and it's not going to be a stiff sentence. I would be surprised if he gets prison time. It'll probably be more like probation or a fine and stuff like that, because he's already he had the gun for less than 2 weeks. The gun was thrown away, not by him, by somebody else. He had already gone through rehab. He's done all the work. And he didn't use the gun to commit a crime. So all the bad things that could happen with this didn't happen. So I'm actually pretty. The kitten just scratched Michelle. Pardon me. We'll bring you back here. We'll bring you back to this reading. So I'm much more at ease with my reading after hearing all the background information from this juror. Okay, so now with regards to this case with Judge Cannon, will Jack Smith appeal? Will he bring this error to the Court of Appeals? What's he thinking? What's he going to do? Knight of Wands. Progressive actions. Yeah, slow and steady. He may not race to the appeals court. He may not have everything. If he does appeal this, if he does go to the appeals course with this evidence, he's got other stuff he's bringing too. I don't think it'll just be this one piece. Crossed by the Moon card and the Emperor. This is about mystery, confusion, secrets. You know, he could be sitting on information, or he's trying to resolve some things that are tied with Judge Cannon in this case. But I think he's looking at Judge Cannon and why is she doing what she's doing, and maybe more importantly, who's the power behind her. When he goes to the appeals court, he's got to have a solid case. If you're going to go for the Emperor, you cannot miss. This is your one shot at getting this done right. So he's got to make sure his case is crystal clear for the appeals court to rule on it. In the past, we had the Ten of Swords. I think this was she's made so many mistakes that were not appealable because there were no written orders. He's been waiting for the mistake. The mistake finally happened. This is going to be I think she's going to get removed. If this would just tell me she's getting removed, this is going to be a death of 1,000 cuts here. But she's also been on his butt. She has been a thorn in his side 10 times over. This case is also a slam dunk, too. There's no reason. It makes no sense. It's confusing to see why this case still hasn't gone to trial, because it's so straightforward here. The current situation, I think, again, he's looking at, we got the Three of Coins. This is the stuff going behind the scenes here. Whether it's his planning with his team, or he's trying to uncover, if there's a conspiracy involving her with other people. More than one intuitive has suggested that she's getting guidance, because she keeps doing things in such a way that he cannot get this case to progress forward. You know what? In some ways, this is almost like this case is supposed to be progressing forward, but it's going really slowly for mysterious reasons, because it looks like somebody's trying to quash it, and they're working with somebody, and then they take these instructions and they go forth, and they just delay things more and more. That flows really easily. The overarching energy is the Page of Wands. This this case, which should be moving along, has just been messaging instead of moving. So yeah, I'm kind of aborting that original read about Jack Smith and going right to this case here. So what am I reading now? The case should have been it's progressing slowly, but too slowly. There's confusion, there's stuff holding it up, and it involves the judge. This case is a slam dunk. It's almost as if somebody's trying to kill this case altogether. This person would be, like Judge Cannon, for instance, would be working with others in the background to try and devalue and slow down, make this case go dark. And that after meeting with these folks, she goes forward and says, okay, well, we can't really advance it. We have to schedule something further down the road. The lesson to be learned is the heartbreak and the betrayal. It's not upholding your oath as a judge, which has got to be one of the highest oaths you can take in this country, because you as a judge, not being fair, not being impartial, that's like the worst of the worst. That's like a general giving away secrets or a president sharing secrets. It's every bit as corrupt and bad. Out comes the Four of Cups. We get the offers that somebody doesn't like. Whether this is Jack Smith, who's just been, stifled again and again and again, or this is Judge Aileen Cannon. To me, this is more Judge Cannon that, she's just sitting there not taking the offers. She can't take yes for an answer for certain things. This didn't really answer for me if he's going to go forward with it. If I was reading that it's a Jack Smith going forward, it's like there's that contemplation of, do I have enough? Do I have enough to take her out? I've got enough to appeal, but do I have enough to appeal and take her out? And so he has to kind of put himself in the appeals court thing. So I will do a 4-carder now. And if I don't get an answer, I'm going to leave it this time, as opposed to guessing the answer and then guessing wrong and then having to do a mea culpa on my community page. Okay. Will Jack Smith, at this stage, rather soon, take Judge Cannon to the appeals court because of this error, trying to strike paragraph 36 because she is mistakenly ruled on 404B. There's my Jack Smith card, King of Swords. So we got the right guy. The Chariot, progressing forward, yes. So he's moving forward slowly and deliberately. 8 of Cups, walking away. Is that because he wants her to walk away? Or is he going to let this sit for a little bit? 10 of Coins, money. Legacy. Ooh, the Devil card underneath it too. Okay, so here's Jack Smith. It's almost as if he doesn't bring it right away, going back to that first reading, he wants her removed, and he's making movements towards that, but there's a financial component here. This would almost be like, we've got some financial dirt on Judge Aileen Cannon, or we're following some money changing hands between people. So there's like there could be a financial component. This could just be legacy. That, again, if you're going to remove a judge, you got to make sure that you take it slow and steady, and that you've got all your ducks in a row, all the evidence that you can, because you get one shot at it, and if you miss, then you're in trouble, because she's still the judge, and you still are on this case. So, do I think he'll do it? Yes, I do. I believe he'll do it. Nothing here seems to indicate that it's imminent. And I could be wrong on that. I'd be happy to be wrong on that. I don't think tomorrow he's going to go running with that piece of paper over to the appeals court. He might do some more strategic stuff to make sure that she is locked in with that decision. But that Chariot indicates that he is going forward. He will go forward with it. It's just a matter of timing. And that 8 of Cups could also be discussing timing. Got to choose your moment. Will Judge Cannon eventually be removed from this case? Say, before the end of September. It just seems like it's going to... We're in mid-June right now. It's June, what, 11th? It just seems like it's going to take weeks, if not months, to get her off. Like a couple months type thing. Not like 6 months, but a couple of months. So, you know, end of September? Tarot's not exactly great with timing, and neither am I. But how will Jack Smith be able to... Well, she'll be gone. Well, she'll be off this case by the end of September. A little four-carder. Page of Wands. There's that messaging, that delaying here. Evaluations, flipping. There's that double card again. And Judgment. King of Wands. I don't know. What am I getting here? I think it's just saying that the messaging she's getting is being done to benefit Trump. I do think there's somebody... She's a Page of Wands. There's a King of Wands underneath here. This might be the person guiding her, giving her the bad information to help Trump out. It's either there's diminishing returns, or she's looking at... No, she's in hot water at this point. Certainly by the end of September, she's in hot water. And Judgment's coming. She might still be on this case by the end of September. But it could very well be that Judgment's coming. This might be the person helping her. This could be the person that's going to boot her off. This card I often use for my Attorney General, but the Attorney General wouldn't be involved with this unless they were bringing up charges against her. Wouldn't that be fun? But I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. So, will it be appealed? Yes. Will she get removed from the case? Maybe. Kind of sort of looks like it, but I'm going to have to defer on... I'm going to defer on reading on that any further until we get closer. No, until, like, for instance, he files a motion to have her removed, and that's coming up. I think it's too far out for me to read on it at this point. There's too much free will going on to get a reasonably accurate answer. Okay? We'll just leave it there. Thank you very much for supporting my channel and watching this video. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To new subscribers and people just catching my channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.